How's it going, Raider Nation? It's JT coming at you with another episode of the Raidercast, your podcast for everything silver and black. Today, I'm going to be discussing the just overall season of the 2022-2023 Las Vegas Raiders, talking about how I felt about the team going into the season, preseason moves and stuff like that. Going like week by week-ish, just talking about generalities, and just talking about how the season went, just reviewing the season, and giving it a grade at the end, and talking about the future, stuff like that. So, to get into it, I wanted to talk about some off-season moves that we made that were really good. You know, you had Chandler Jones coming in. You trade for Davante Adams. You re-sign Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Max Crosby, Derek Carr, Jonathan Hankins even comes back, who's been a Raider since 2018. And all those moves are like, whoa. Those are huge moves. Davante Adams, massive. Pairing him up with Carr, his college teammate, where they had record-breaking seasons. You have Hunter Renfrow guaranteed to come back after this season. Darren Waller getting re-signed early. He's still 2 years left on his deal, and we re-signed him early. Max Crosby getting his deal. And then you also denied Josh Jacobs his fifth-year option, Cleveland Ferrell and Jonathan Abrams as well. And that was like a big whoa. Is Josh Jacobs going to be gone? What's the next move for Josh Jacobs? You have, obviously, Josh McDaniels coming in as head coach after we don't retain Rich Bisaccia after our very tumultuous 2021 season. And then you hire Dave Ziegler. Mike Mayock is gone. So you have a whole new front office, all from the Patriots. Mark Davis made this move. It looks like he's been wanting to make this move for a while. Well, at least wanted to make more consistency because he signed him for a 5-year contract, Josh McDaniels, and it looks like he's here to stay, especially after the comments that were made during the season. But keeping us in the past, all these moves being made, our team coming off a playoff close loss to the eventual AFC champs, the Cincinnati Bengals, in their stadium, everyone's like, whoa, we could be onto something. Davante Adams solves our wide receiver issue. Our O-line is going to be Our defense could be better. You have Divine Diablo, who could be coming into a second year. He had a solid rookie year. Nate Hobbs was becoming a budding star at nickel corner. Trayvon Moehrig had a on and off rookie year, but looks like he could be coming into his own as well. And you sign players like Daron Harmon, Anthony Averett, Jayon Brown, who had a down 2021 and 2020, but those were injuries. But beforehand, he was a really good linebacker and was a really good coverage linebacker, which we haven't had in a long time. So you have all these players coming in, all these big moves, all this expectation. And even looking back at what I said in the preseason, I mean, first of all, let's just talk about this setup. Wow, I've come a long way in just a few months. Look at this. This is trash. Oh my God, it's awful. But I said our floor is 8 and 9, our ceiling's 12 and 5. I even said in the video that I think that 7 and 10 is also something that could happen as our floor, but I can't see us getting any less than 7 wins just based on pure talent. And look what happened. We had 6 wins. So just goes to show how weird this season was. We had 4 or 5 games where we had the lead in the fourth quarter, or losing the lead in the fourth quarter. So those were 5 games we could have won, and we could have had 11 wins instead of 6. And we could have been in that range that I was talking about. There was definitely a lot more issues to this team than we thought. Our additions didn't always help. Anthony Averett was not good. Vernon Butler was added, who was not good. Kyle Fackrell got IR immediately. Micah Kaiser, IR immediately. There was a lot of IRs that were very not great. Jonathan Hankins got let go, got traded away to the Cowboys in the middle of the season, and everything was just starting to fall apart. You start the season with a terrible game against the Chargers. You still only lose by 1 score, and we only allow the Chargers to score 24 points, but Derek Carr in the offense didn't do anything the whole game. He throws 3 interceptions, and we're like, what the fuck? All right. They didn't play, preseason where we were undefeated, 4-0 in the preseason with the Hall of Fame game included. And so, all right, we're just warming up. It's a new system, yada, yada, yada. Then the Titans game happens, and we're like, what the fuck? Again, The defense only allows 24, but we can only end up scoring 22 with the last-second touchdown, and we fail a 2-point conversion and onside kick to lose the game. I don't know what's going on. This is kind of weird. I don't like this. We start off down 24-0 or 24-7 or something at the half, and the defense allows 0 the rest of the game, and we still lose. Then you have the Cardinals game. Second week was the Cardinals game. Was just a back-breaking loss. Up 20-0 at halftime. You're like, holy crap. We have a pick. Max Crosby's getting sacks. We're scoring touchdowns at will. We're just scoring at will. Is this team finally coming together? And in the second half, our offense gets 3 points total. The Cardinals are able to come back because the defense is just constantly on the field, and then we lose in overtime to a terrible fumble recovery for a touchdown that honestly derailed Hunter Renfro's rest for that season. And then kind of like I've talked about this before, but going off of that, the Cardinals game, that injury to Hunter Renfro caused him to miss some weeks, miss some practices, and then all of a sudden he's running into Davante Adams on the game-losing play against the Chiefs on 4th down. And that ends the game because he ran into Davante Adams, who could have gotten open, either one of them, and it wasn't even close to being completed. It wasn't pass interference or anything like that. He ran the wrong route and got messed up. And honestly, it's probably because of that concussion and injury he had in week 2, 3 weeks prior. And so you head into the bye week, you're 1-4, and you have the Texans coming up. You do really well. We got our first defensive touchdown in 4 years or something stupid like that. And then you have the Saints game. That's it was terrible. 24-0. The offense didn't make it past the 50 until Jarrett Stidham came in relief with 3 minutes left. And even then we couldn't score a touchdown, even though we're on the 10-yard line. It's like, all right, how do you blame the defense for that one? They allowed 24 to it, but it didn't matter how much they allowed because at worst it would have been a 0-0 tie because the offense did nothing. So you're starting to see the cracks. Derek Carr is looking really off. He's making Dante Adams almost disappear by not giving him the ball enough. Josh Jacobs is coming into his own, though. He's having an insane year so far. He's had 150-yard games, multiple touchdowns. He's been absolutely carrying this team. And honestly, that's just kind of the theme of the season was Josh Jacobs carries, Davante Adams makes insane plays, and Max Crosby is the entire defense. Because we ended up being the 24th graded defense according to PFF and the 12th rated offense according to PFF. So overall, we were the 18th graded team with a 79.7. And we were just in that bottom tier of teams that are just not in the playoffs, except the Chargers were graded worse than us. But, we just had a terrible, terrible season, derailed by injuries, especially towards the end of the season, terrible games from Derek Carr, and then you end up with the benching and the eventual, we haven't had it happen yet, but the eventual release of Derek Carr, who's been a long time staple of the franchise for 9 seasons. So that just a bunch of change. You coming into this season expecting the playoffs, at minimum just an 8-9 season because of new coaching and new this and new that. Maybe we didn't get enough players on defense, like me. But you come in, you stink it up for weeks, go 2-7, you go on a 3-game win streak, and then you lose to the Rams on Thursday Night Football. It's just an extremely disappointing season, extremely, but it kind of just shows how bad this roster has been handled the last 4 years previously under Gruden. And people are like, oh, I want Gruden back. He's such a better coach than McDaniels, but he's the reason why we're even in the position. He was, his roster got us to the playoffs, but he's also the reason why we don't have anyone. We don't have any depth. How many players that Gruden brought in that were just cut? Alex Leatherwood, gone after a season. Kenyon Drake, gone after a season. Corey Littleton was a terrible contract. LaMarcus Joyner. There's so many. Antonio Brown. So many missed draft picks with Cleveland Ferrell at 4. Jonathan Abram, who was let go this season. Damon Arnett. Henry Ruggs. Tanner Muse. Just so many. Linton Bowden Jr., just so many draft picks, especially high draft picks that were terrible. Absolutely terrible. And the only quality ones so far have been Josh Jacobs and Max Crosby, legit, and Hunter Renfroe. But he's had an offseason. He's only had one really good season. Nate Hobbs has only had one really good season. Trayvon Marek has had 2 mid to bad seasons. Devon Diablo, 2 mid to bad seasons. And the rest of them are either not playing or are off the team. Or not even playing on a team. They're on practice squads. Brian Edwards is on a practice squad where we thought was Megatron or Terrell Owens or whatever he called him. This team has been ruined by poor roster management for 4 straight years, and we were expecting to make the playoffs again after getting 6 wins off of last-second scores. Walk-off wins. 6 walk-off wins doesn't happen. That's why everyone's talking about the Vikings being a fake team and how they're not going to make it to the Super Bowl, despite them being 12-4 or 12-5 or whatever the hell they are, 13-4. Because they have 11 wins when they were down, or 11 score wins. Like, you can't consistently win like that. That's luck. That's a lot of luck. It doesn't matter how much heart you put into a team. I don't think Rich Bisaccia does better or worse than what Josh McDaniels did. If anything, I think he does just as bad or worse, because this roster is talentless. There's a bunch of really good top guys: Crosby, Jacobs, Adams, Waller. And you have a couple of good mid guys in Renfroe and Miller who are very solid. But after that, who do you have? Unknowns in the cornerbacks. You have Tyler Hall emerging as your best corner, who we picked up midway through the season. Luke Masterson starting because Denzel Perriman's on IR. Devon Diablo's on IR. Jayon Brown sucked and is on IR. You have Sam Webb, undrafted free agent rookie, starting at corner because Anthony Averett sucked and is on IR. You have so many injuries, so little talent. You're pulling people off the streets. Harvey Lange was starting linebacker, and we picked him up 2 days before the Week 17 game against the Niners. That's how talentless this roster was, and how badly it was managed beforehand. And that's why this offseason is extremely crucial. We have $60 million in cap space. We have a bunch of $60 million plus. We haven't even got to restructures. That's with taking Carr off the books, which is a pretty much a guarantee. It is a guarantee at this point. And that's not taking into account free agency stuff, but you have 60 plus, 70 plus million dollars going to free agency. You have 10 plus draft picks or something like that. You have 7th overall pick. You have a ton of draft capital, plus whatever you can get for Derek Carr if you get anything. So, with all that said, what do I give this season graded as? Considering we're a playoff team, 10-7 with 6 one-score wins, you take half of those, and we become a 7-10 team. So we're really not that far off of where we were last season, except we have Devontae Adams, we have Max Crosby still, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfroe. Derek Carr will be gone, which honestly I'm kind of happy about, which I kind of bump up the grade a little bit because he's finally gone. It's been way too long. We gave him way too many chances to do something, and he never did it. But I'd give this season a D minus. Not quite an F, because there was positives. There is building blocks off of this season. Like I said, Devontae Adams, really good. Josh Jacobs, if he's back, that'll be a huge boost. Max Crosby, really, really good. There was moments and flashes of this team. Wow, this team can be good. We just weren't consistent enough. We didn't have the talent or the pieces to make it consistent enough. We didn't have the talent or pieces or Carr making his comeback plays happen to give us those wins when we needed them most. So that's why I give this season a D minus. And let me know if you guys agree. Comment down below if you guys like this video, if you like this sort of video. I'm probably going to do this after every single season. I thought it was a lot of fun to talk about and just look back at the season, talk about all the issues that we had and all the moves and stuff like that. Like I said, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Comment down below what grade you give the season. And I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys had an absolutely fantastic day. And peace out, Raider Nation.